Let's find out this matter with financial planner Metta Anggriani. Good morning, Metta.
Hi, Mbak Metta.
Hello, good morning,
Good morning,
Shanaz
Mbak
and Hans.
Metta. Happy New Year. Good to see you again.
Happy New Year.
So, the thing that we've been worrying about, how do we set our financial resolutions? What should we really focus on, considering that we experienced some hard times in 2020 and also in 2021, things starting to restabilize?
Well, yeah, I think earlier Shanaz has mentioned good points about, managing your cash flow first, emergency funds, and then your savings. But again, before we make a resolution, we have to know that resolution is like a decision to do or not to do something, right? And it includes your finance. And to make a resolution is actually we have to set the goals first. It has to be clear and it has to be specific as well. And after you set the goals, you have to make a plan. And if that plan is actually a goal that you break down into chunks. Because otherwise, the goals will look more doable, and it will be easier for you to track the target, the progress, right? Right. And then after that, of course, you have a plan. It has to be done, right? You have to take action to do it.
That's right.
Not
It
just
has
a
to be
plan.
done.
Because that's the thing. Some people, make a resolution. But then after a few weeks, after a few months, they forgot about it. Because
Yeah.
then it's not clear enough, or you don't have a strong commitment.
That is right. It ends up to be accessories on your notebooks.
That's
right. Yeah. And again, I think you mentioned earlier as well about you asked about how to make goals, how to do it.
Yes,
How to do
please.
it.
Yes, please.
commitment to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe first we should do a financial checkup. But financial checkup, you make your records of your financial, the cash flow, your balance sheet, your assets, your liabilities. But again, I think it will be easier to see it with the timeline.
Okay.
You see, we can start from the present moment, right? When we want to make a plan, start with the present moment. Look at your cash flow. That's a very important thing.
Okay.
Now this is scary.
You,
This is where the things got scarier.
Look at your cash
to
flow.
see your cash flows and also to track down all your expenses. I don't know, somehow it's scary for me. Is it really common?
yes, because otherwise, with the cash flow, your liquidity. You can see whether your
Yeah.
income is regular
That's a
and how
good
much your
point.
expense.
Yeah.
Maybe your expense is too liquid, right?
Yeah. Just like your health,
You have to
Hans,
find
you
a
need to
balance.
check up
That is
once in
right.
a while to
I
know
see.
what nutrition do you need,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Somewhat like that. And Mbak Metta, you talk about goals. So if someone has a variety of goals, such as paying debts or saving for marriage, like Hans, and obtaining more assets, how does that one person determine which one actually to prioritize first?
Okay. I think that's what I started with the present. You look at your cash flow, right?
Okay.
If your cash flow is fine, is good enough. So then we can go
Set
further.
goals.
But if your cash flow is not yet healthy enough, so that's why maybe we should try to manage the income and then the expenses. And then the second thing, if the present moment is fine, then maybe we should look at the back. See whether you still have a financial burden that may affect your financial condition now. Like for example, maybe you still have some borrowings, some loans, some debts. Because if you don't settle it, then it will affect your finance now and maybe your finance tomorrow.
That's right.
Right? So again, try to look whether you have managed your debt very well. If you can pay your debt on time and if you don't add any more debts to your finance, then
it's
it will be
okay.
good for you.
Okay.
Yes. And if your present and your past is already manageable, then maybe it's time for you to look at your future. That means what goals you want to achieve. Maybe then you can choose what savings or investment to do because all those things are already settled, already taken care of,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's time to go forward. So that's how you make your priorities. Maybe first check your cash flow, and then second, look at your loans, whether you have managed it well, whether it is, you can pay it regularly. And then after that, then we can talk about, how much savings that you have to do, which instrument, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
again, like Hans mentioned, how to do it in 2022, right? We see the market.
Right. And also, Metta, in this case, probably we need to be reminded again on which one, because you were mentioning about plans before you have the goals and stuff like that. What is actually an ideal plan for a person in terms of financial, whether it's the saving first or emergency funds first or something like that? Which one is actually an ideal plan? Can you break it down to us from the most important one to be prepared all the way to the back?
Well, in financial planning, we have kind of like a priorities. First, when you manage your wealth, at the base, it's a wealth protection. So it means that we have to, you have to build, like a plan for to secure your wealth. So that's why like emergency funds, insurance is a good tools for your protection.
Oh, something that you would fall back to.
Right.
Okay.
So if anything happens, you have the capacity to absorb that shock, any kind of shock that may happen. And then after the wealth protection, then you can go further into a wealth accumulation. It means that you go one by one. When try with your savings, and then after your savings, maybe you go. If you have more money, you can do investment. And if you still have more extra cash, maybe you can choose another, more highly risk instrument. Like something for you to speculate or something. And after you balance that accumulations, maybe then afterwards, then you can maybe you achieve your financial freedom, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to just spend your money not for you and then maybe for others. And maybe you can talk about the wealth distribution. So that's the step of managing your wealth. First, the wealth protection, and then you accumulate, and then after you accumulate, then you can distribute.
And probably a question from me before going to Shana's. For emergency fund, how do you calculate and actually how do you know that this much of emergency fund is enough for you?
Or your family.
Well,
Or your family in this case.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is that emergency fund is about 6 times your monthly expense.
Yeah,
Six
that's
times of
6
monthly
times.
expenses. Okay.
Yeah.
So it means if you have that savings, if anything happens, for example, maybe you are sick or you lose your job, you can still have some savings to keep you maintain your life.
For another 6 months.
So another up and running.
Yeah.
Okay. We're trying to reconnect with Metta. Okay. We are reconnected. So Metta, carry on.
Right, and that's a rule of thumb. But I guess everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
If you have like more family members that you have to feed, and then maybe you need more. Maybe like a year for monthly expenses. And another thing is if you don't have a regular income, maybe you are a freelancer or maybe you are a businessman. Then maybe you have to have a bigger emergency fund, maybe up to 12 months of monthly expenses. Yeah, so again, we have to check the balance with our own conditions.
I see. In order to make financial resolutions, we have to know ourselves first. So getting to know ourselves could benefit so many things, including financial resolutions. And if we speak about financial goal, Metta, some of us might still be overwhelmed in making financial resolutions, but some of us may be a little bit too ambitious to make resolutions as well. But do you have any suggestions on what would be a feasible financial goal for us?
Well, when we talk about resolution, it's not just about financial target, the amount that you have to achieve. But sometimes maybe we can start with the financial habit as well.
Oh, that's right.
We have to start with we have to have the habit to develop, because a resolution is for all. Maybe like for example, maybe some, students that may not have an income yet. But they can start with managing the allowance from their parents, right? So try to
Right.
make a budget, and try to wisely spend your money. Do not make an impulsive buying, those
That
kind
is
of
the
stuff.
thing that I would tell my younger self.
Impulsive buying.
Yeah, and then again, another good habit is to make a savings. If you can regularly allocating some monies to your savings account, no matter how much of it, it will be good for you in the future. So again, try to make a small habit as well. Because then later on, maybe then if you have a good habit, whatever amount you want to achieve, it will be doable, right?
Okay.
So
don't
it's interesting that you mentioned about student. We've been thinking about the financial goals are actually set when we're actually making money for ourselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to financial goals and student, do they need any financial goals too?
Well, yeah, I think it's good to learn how to manage money since early, from earliest. Even as a parent, maybe you teach your kids how to save money. This is for you to spend, and
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
for you to save for tomorrow. And of course, when we are a student, we have we already have plans, right? They want to graduate by maybe mid next year, and then after that they want to work in that kind of industry. So they know what to do. From that goals, then you can do it lower down into your financial goals, right? So nowadays as a student, you don't really have to work for, you have to have a formal job, but nowadays you can earn money from anything.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
nowadays they are not only depend on the financial allowance from the parents, but they can also make money from whatever instrument that they have. Even
Online
now,
games,
Online games.
probably,
Yeah.
or probably from Instagram and
Yeah.
stuff like
Being a
that, right?
reseller.
Right. Now they are more creative. So
Yes.
it's good for them to start financial planning earlier.
Okay, and as we know, also these youngsters are very financial literate, right? I even talked to
Right.
some of them that are very knowledgeable, even more than me. And Mbak Metta, talking about financial resolutions, sometimes we can encounter sudden and unexpected occurrences that might throw us out of our financial resolutions, right? What can we do in such situation? How do we get back on track?
Well, yeah, a financial resolution or a financial plan is a plan, right? It's a tool to achieve our goals. And a plan is a plan, but implementation can be different.
Yeah.
So there will be some challenges with implementation because there are things that are uncontrollable, right? Like the economic situation,
That's
the pandemic, and even your job place is not that always secure, right? Right. So having a plan, a resolution is actually helping us to do some maneuver if in achieving the goals, right? If things don't go out of plan, then we can be resilient enough to know what alternative routes to take,
Okay.
or maybe to adjust the financial targets. So that's the good thing, because before we make a goals, that's why we have to do a financial checkup, because then we know our financial capacity, and with the goals we know what to achieve, and in between we make adjustment, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So we do need to have that flexibility, right?
Wow, my heart is racing just to talk about this. And okay, so in terms of financial goals, actually, if I can share my financial goal in 2022, I would be willing to diversify my portfolio as an investment.
Investment.
Okay,
Right.
can you actually tell us, Metta, on what would be the right investment instruments for those who seeks to invest financially this year? Because we heard about lots of
NFTs.
yeah, NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I think 2022 hopefully can be better than last year. So
Hopefully.
when the 2020 the pandemic hits heavily, and then 2021 last year was we start the recovery process, recovery period. Now 2022 is also still a recovery period, but things that can be more stable, right?
Yeah.
You know, the not just for Indonesia, but with the global market that we try together now to recover stronger, recover together. That's the G20, right?
G20.
Right, right. So again, I think with the situation is getting better. I believe that the investment environment will be good as well. So now I would see that this 2022, you know, even the the capital market, the stock market will be more dynamics. And you know, when you talk about gold, hopefully it will be more stable as well. And you know, and I think you mentioned about the cryptocurrencies and stuff. I think it will be more popular. The ecosystem is also growing, so maybe it will be, you know, it will be one of the choices as well. But again, whatever investment that you take, the first you have to ensure that it is aligned with your goals. And then second, it is aligned with your capacity. You don't force too much for your investment because you know your capacity. And then the third thing is you have to know your risk profile as well. So you have to align
That's
those
a tough
with
one.
your investment.
Risk profile. Yeah.
That's the
the
tough one. Okay. So, Mbak Metta, our final question would be, maybe you can walk us through step-by-step process on how we can turn our financial resolutions to reality.
Oh, this is actually important. This is important.
Okay, I think again, I think it could be like a summary of what we have discussed within the last 10 minutes, right? So before you make a financial resolution, I encourage you to do a financial checkup, because then you know your financial condition.
Check up.
You know financial condition, you know your capacity, and then when you make a financial resolution, you set a goals, be clear enough and be specific enough with your goals, and after that you make a plan. That is, you can break down your goals into chunks, so it will be more doable and you can track your progress. And then of course, after you make a plan, you have to do it. You have to take action, and this is more be difficult because again, we have to build a financial habit. And if it is too difficult, maybe we can just not do it alone. Maybe, you know, if you're married, you should team up, husband and wives,
with your partner.
Or maybe you find a circle, a community, or a list of friends that you trust enough that, you know, together we want to achieve something. And of course, if it is too difficult now, you know, nowadays there's a lot of financial information in the internet, in the social media. You can also do some consultation with, you know, financial advisor or something like that. Just don't be shy enough. And you know, your money is your tool, is your source to achieve whatever you want in the future.
Okay.
It's like you were talking to me.
Talking to Hans directly.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mbak Metta, for your insights, and thank you for the plan that we can implement in our financial goals as well, right?
Yeah, that is right. And also, probably a tip, Mbak Metta. Is it right that if you want to buy crypto, you buy now because it's quite low enough, and then sell it in the Q3? Is that right?
Well, the market is actually unpredictable. So if you want to do it now, make sure that you make an analysis, not just following your friends' tips.
That's right.
Mbak Metta,
Do not follow gossips. Do not follow gossips.
Don't fall into this free consultation, Mbak Metta. Thank you, Mbak Metta.
Mbak Metta, thank you so much. It is very eye-opening and also insightful. I'm so glad that we could talk with you today.
Thank you, Mbak Metta. Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.